hard to believe that Track Talk is coming to an end, because for us, it seems like it just started not that long ago. But hey, we are excited about having the one, the only Eric Alwan, the voice of Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino, with us one last time here for the 2022 season. And Eric, all I can say is congratulations to you, the entire team here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. I know this has been one of the more successful live race meets that you and everybody at Sunland has had in many years.
It turned out that way, Steve, and great to be on the program again. You know, when we started, in late December, the last day of the year, there was some hiring difficulties, hiring challenges. We were a little short on horses. And, we were a little bit against the 8 ball. It seemed, because of the 2-year break from COVID. But right around February, the racetrack and the casino started to click and do a lot better. And then that purse increase that we had, where we added over $1 million to the program, that was the frosting on the cake that allowed us to go from 9 races a day to 12, and business really picked up. It was quite an effort from the team here at Sunland. Of course, led by our director of racing, Dustin Dix, who was so instrumental in everything. And of course, Kyle Lim, our general manager, and of course, Ahmed Mugni, who has led us through lots of the time here at Sunland. The Sunland Derby turned out very, very well. We were able to get some star talent in it. The race was dramatic and came down to the wire. We had over 15,000 people for the Sunland Derby. So a lot of the things resembled the way things were, at the peak of the Sunland Derby. We were really glad about that, I think, the most. And it was a condensed meet. It seemed short to you and to me, because it was only just 3 months, 55 race days. So I don't know what Dustin's going to do about that. Maybe we'll add a little bit for next year, but it was certainly successful. But I'm happy to report that the Sunland Derby is alive and well, and we'll be back next year.
When Sunland was really in its heyday, how many race days were in the live meet?
It's a great question. You mean like when we got the casino and we had a few years under our belt, like 05, 06, 08, mid 80s, maybe 90? We would typically start. Now you got to remember, back in the old days before casino, we only raced 3 days a week, and we would go from late October, mid-October, all the way to the first Saturday in May, the Kentucky Derby, and we would run over 100 days then. But that was a different era. But in the casino era, I think we used to run in the high 80s, and we would run from right after Thanksgiving to about mid-April, and run 4 days a week. But times change, and the quality is certainly improved. I mean, you could even say now our quality is better than it was maybe 15 years ago. And the casino's been around for 22 some odd years.
I think that's important too, because it's when you're dealing with horse racing, and you probably could attest to this, quality is more important than quantity, isn't it?
On the macroscopic level, yes, it is. You got to give the fans some quality. However, they do like full fields. So it's a hegemony of both. But in my view, yes, quality is the reason why, we got the casino and turned our track into a racino. Because when you add this great amount of money to the purses, you get these big names like Doug O'Neill and Steve Asmussen. And your own horses, your New Mexico bred horses, run for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So someone is a really shining example of how the racino principle or theory was supposed to work out. And darned if it didn't. It did work out the way we always thought.
Eric Alwan with us here on Track Talk as we continue. Were you expecting a purse increase during this season, or did that catch you off guard a little bit?
Well, that isn't my domain. I'm here to, help you guys out in the media, call the races. But I think it was a bit of a surprise. It was certainly a welcome surprise to the horsemen who had been out of work, at least here at Sunland. They were able to go to other tracks for a lot less money. But to be here at home, a lot of the trainers and owners live here. They live in El Paso. They might, migrate to Albuquerque, Ruidoso, or Farmington, for short stints, but they lost Sunland Park for 2 meets. So yes, it was a lot of money. What was it? Was it 25, 30,000 extra a day? So even those bottom purses became quite lucrative. And like that, Steve, the entry box started flooding up. I was calling 12-horse fields. It seemed like all the time.
Speaking of calling, this is what, your second season now, the full-time season of calling races. You've grown up in, You've grown up in this track. You've called races for many years in other tracks in New Mexico primarily. And I know you were close with Robert Geller, who was the longtime voice of Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. But all that being said, what's it been like for you to now add Sunland to your list of tracks that you've called on a full-time basis, because this track has so much history to you personally?
It meant so much to me, Steve, because I grew up here. When I was 9 years old, I was hanging out here in the press box with Dad, Dick Alwan, and all of the people that, he dealt with back in the day, like Ray Sanchez, Tom Dawson, a legion of, media types. And Dad also helped create the massive All-American Fraternity and Derby. But on a personal level, I knew that to survive in this game, in this racing game, I was going to have to reinvent myself, not once, not twice, probably 3 times, to be able to last 35 years, because publicity wasn't going to cut it, not for my needs. But the announcing was the jewel, the key. And yeah, I've called decades worth at, Albuquerque, and a couple of All-Americans I've called. And that was kind of the fundamentals, the breaking ground for me. But this year, it's everything, because I got to call high quality, under pressure, dead heats all the time, Steve. 4 or 5 horses. When I see you the next time, I'll show you some of the photos that I had to kind of decipher through. I had to develop a little bit more of an arsenal on my announcing. I had to get better. And I think that the horses did do that for me. But I was able to increase my game, where if you were listening to my calls, you could tell that, Eric Alwan could call at any track in the country. I can't tell you how many times I was, and so pleased that I was complimented, because, sometimes announcers are not, but an announcer doesn't need to get in the way of the race, but I'm kind of known for having some passion, get a little excited without screaming. But what I did this year, was like ratchet up my game a little bit more, and it pleased me, because it was, I'd gotten so sick there 2 years ago, and with the sepsis and all, and I was wondering if, I was done. So it was a great personal challenge to me. And none of this is any degradation to Robert. He did a fine job. He was here for many, many years. He was beloved, but times change, and they needed somebody here that could do everything. Well, that could do more than just announce. And that's where I fit in. But I'd like to think that I'm one of the greatest callers of quarter horses, for sure. I don't think I have a peer in that, but the thoroughbred game is where I had to get a little bit stronger. And because of this menu that we have here at Sunland, I got the last bit of experience that I really needed. Because it takes a long time to be a good race call announcer. You're not going to get good in 5, 10 years. It's not enough. You got to see all kinds of scenarios, to be able to respond in a millisecond and have the memory and eyes, so it took a lot of time. But I'm very thankful that I was given the opportunity.
Eric Alwan's the voice of Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino, or the Racino, as he's talked about earlier, and he joins us here on Track Talk. Give me some of the trainers, jockeys, and even horses that impressed you the most during this live racing season.
I think that I got to visit Todd Fincher's stable, and it's just immaculate, so beautiful, so clean. Normally you can't pet racehorses because they're keyed up, they're ready to battle. But Todd's horses are classy, poised, cool, collected, and may I say, most importantly, happy. Hence, they run well. So, I mean, Todd impresses me on so many levels. And he's got so many great horses in all divisions, it seems. He dominates the New Mexico bred stakes races, whether it be babies, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, older. He even does pretty good in quarter horses. And if that's not enough, Steve, he darn near won the Sunland Derby again. And if it wasn't for Bye Bye Bobby going a little wide, I think he wins that race. I think he guns down Doug O'Neill's, slow down Andy. It was close for a while, but Todd's an exemplary trainer, and he really helps keep New Mexico racing rolling from the trainer standpoint. And got to give him so many props. He's going to have a huge year. He's so loaded in all those divisions. I can't wait to call it. We did have one baby thoroughbred race, just, at the end of the meet, and he won that. And that's for 2-year-olds. We basically just had 2-year-old quarter horses this season, but you're going to see a lot from Todd Fincher in coming years. And I also like to congratulate Judge Lanier Racing, Tom and Sandy McKenna, two of the most crucial owners of the last 20 years here at Sunland. They're the most successful owners in the Racino era here at Sunland. They got Minette Star rolling, the half brother to Minette Bird. He won the 2 big stakes races for the older horses. And if it wasn't for getting involved maybe in that tremendous pace duel that we just had in the Sunland Park Handicap, he might have been able to win that one too. And but who won it? Todd Fincher's horse, Sheriff Brown, coming from far back. We saw a new jockey champion crowned for the first time in the thoroughbred ranks, Luis Fuentes. He rode a lot for Todd. He was tremendous, but he rode a lot for many barns. Probably if Alfredo Juarez didn't get dinged up, he could have won the title. He was a close second. Todd, of course, won the top thoroughbred training honors. Noe Garcia was our leading quarter horse jockey, and Eric Valenzuela, our leading quarter horse trainer. So seeming like we have some new blood here, and some of our former blood that refuses to let go of the mantle.
I'm excited for you. And now the off season starts. And then, we'll find out if, in fact, live racing will begin right around the same time as last year, which was New Year's Eve. Maybe they decide to push it up a little bit to earlier in December, and who knows? But all I can tell you is this: based on the Sunland Derby and all the excitement and momentum, you're right. Things are in really, really good shape heading into the 23 racing season.
We're so lucky, but it was a great team effort here. Everyone from the top down really pitched in and did multiple jobs, and just carried the way through it. I think Dustin Dix is going to have a very busy summer off season. We have to find a new racing secretary because Jerry Richards, our fine racing secretary, was plucked away from us to New York. He's going to Finger Lakes. He's already there. So we'll have to find, a racing secretary is the man that puts together the races, deals with the horsemen on a daily basis. So it's a crucial job. So we'll have to find another one of them, and we're going to have to find another track man that, fashions the racetrack, makes it so safe for the horses. And then Dustin has to figure out, with management, when we're going to run, how we're going to run, and go from there. But I can't wait to come back, and I'll spend a few weeks, a month at Farmington calling the races there. All of our horses will be so sharp and ready to go there that they'll win. And then about a couple months after that, go to Albuquerque and do some nighttime racing.
Nice. Hey, in the meantime, thanks for being so great with us each and every week.
Really, sir.
Just
Thank
like
you,
old
Steve.
times, and we'll look forward to having you back on a little bit later in the year.
You got it, sir. Thanks, Steve.
He's Eric Alwan, folks, and this has been Track Talk here on 600 ESPN El Paso.